Hey guys, here at Action Motorcycles for Yamaha Demo Days. But the reason why we're here today is we want to ride not the Super 10RA, this guy. This is the Yamaha FJ-09. Now, I rode the Yamaha FZ-09 last year. I thought that was just an amazing bike. Fortunately, I didn't think the suspension and all the other bits and bobs were up to par with the engine. Now they've taken that engine, they've refined it a little bit, they've stuck it in this, which is more of an adventure touring bike, similar to my Multistrada. And what's really great about it is that we've got this beautiful triple, and we've got the riding style that I'm more familiar with, that I like, and packaged together with some electronics that should handle that motor a little bit better. You know, before we go any further, I'd just like to point out that you see these indicators. They have been on every Yamaha for like more than 10 years. Like, why are they still using these ugly indicators? They made like a bajillion of them, and then they're sticking them on every single bike. I'm not a big fan of this back end here. It looks almost too utilitarian. It's very square, and it's like they designed it from here, and then they kind of gave up near the back end and just kind of went, it just needs some square handles and stuff. The front end though, that looks nice. I like those front lights. Those look pretty nice. Let's see, we have a power outlet there on the left side, none on the right side. Let's quickly go over the key on. That's cool. We've got a start stop button, mode button here, which cycles between A, sport mode, standard, and B, which is like rain mode. We've got these two buttons here which cycle through the trip meter. We've got trip temperature, time trip, fuel consumption, odometer, the usual stuff, and gear indicator. Yeah, everything's there. The adjustable screen is using somewhere. There's like screws down there. There's some screws down there. I'm adjusting this, and I thought it could come up some more, but that's about as high as that windscreen comes up. And then you've got these two little lock nut things here underneath the dash. It's really inconvenient for doing it on the fly. All right, are we running? You're running. Ignition on. Run. That's the familiar sound of the Yamaha triple. Me likey, clutch is nice and light. Love these really cool futuristic handguards going on there. And we're off. Okay guys, I hope you enjoy this. Now this is a standard sort of demo ride, not a one-on-one kind of test ride that I would do at some dealerships. So we'll be following some group riding rules and stuff like that. There won't be any kind of crazy shenanigans. The dash is very easy to read. Very nice, big stuff. To numbers, letters, they're all big. Right off the bat, I love the light action on the clutch and the throttle. One huge thing I'm noticing as I'm sitting on this and I'm squeezing my knees together, I'm not sure if you guys can see, it's extremely narrow. It's incredibly narrow where the seat meets the tank. So I have a huge amount of wind protection from the fairing, and it really feels like the bike is a lot thinner than it looks. It's pretty amazing how they've done that. We're here poodling around the streets, just under 50 kilometers an hour. I'm in second gear. Fueling pretty smooth. Third gear, lower revs. I like it. No stuttering. Smooth as a baby's bottom. lost a bunch of people at the light. There's a lot of balance at slow speeds, Lynn. I'm not got my foot down at all until now. I always knew when I rode the FJ09, the FZ09, that Yamaha had a big hit with their triple motor, and now they've got it in a configuration that I personally like, which is sort of the adventure touring, upright seating, taller bike, and you know, it's all these things are coming together to make, in my opinion, a really likable machine. So right now we're sort of in the standard mode. I'm just going to switch to B mode, which is sort of the rain mode. And right away from standard to B mode, there's already a noticeable difference in how the throttle responses. A bit more twist before you get any sort of reaction. It's really good for slow speeds and sort of around town. Don't worry guys, we'll be switching to A mode once we hit the highway, and I really hope we'll get a chance to open this up a little bit more. Once again, I'd like to remind you guys that there's a difference between demo rides put on by dealerships and manufacturers compared to me just going to the dealership and asking for the keys to a bike and riding it, you know, by myself for, you know, an hour or so. There's a decent amount of front end dive with the when I brake. I'm testing out the rear brake. Nice. The multi-strata brakes, the rear brakes, are extremely squishy. Alright, let's go back to standard mode here. Right away, there is the more immediate throttle response. Pity we don't have any tunnels here. We can do tunnel exhaust. Alright, so I've got it in A mode now, and we are still kind of doing, you know, street speeds, 50 kilometers an hour, second, third gear, and just right away, a little, see, just a tiny touch on the throttle, and already you can feel that there is a huge difference between the modes, which is nice. It's really what you want. Okay, B mode. Oh yeah, there you go. Let's try the same throttle input. See? Not nearly as jerky. Oh my god, the traffic! Oh, we got big trucks and stuff in front of us. Oh. Because the one thing I noticed now, because the tank and where the tank and the seat meet, it's very narrow. I don't have to splay my leg out very wide in order to get it down to the ground. So it feels very comfortable just on a taller bike. This traffic, man. Alright, so typically Yamaha, we have a non-adjustable clutch, but we have an adjustable brake lever. I'm kind of tippy-toe, just as I would be on the multistrada, but like I said, can you see, guys? Can you see how narrow the tank is? Fantastic. I like that. Oh, come on, 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 come on. All right, here we go. We're gonna get some acceleration. Yeah, third gear. Woohoo! You've got that rush. That triple has that rush and the higher RPMs. Oh yeah, I like that. This brings back memories from the FZ-09. Fourth gear, fifth gear, 6th gear, top gear right now. We're doing 100 kilometers an hour. There is noticing a lot of, the high buzzing vibration, buzzy coming through the handlebars, like a very high frequency buzz. There's a lot of nosedive too when you're braking. I mean, brakes are good and strong, but yeah, a lot of dive in the nose. Love this engine. Just wants to be revved. I definitely prefer the suspension on the Multistrada. It feels a lot more competent. This is still too bouncy. Okay, school zone. B mode, school zone. There you go. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. Okay, slightly bumpy road we've got there. Let's see how we do. Switching to standard. Nice. The suspension soaks up all the... Ooh, bike for sale. That was a KLR. The bike soaks up all the bumps fairly well. And I know this is a very bumpy road. You see the little test ride video of me and the Striker that I did over there, and I was doing the same road. I could barely talk, but you can hear from the sound of my voice. My voice is a lot smoother. Like the bike is really soaking up all the bumps. But definitely, I feel like the front of the bike is doing a lot of this. We don't have a lot of twisties we've been going through, but some of the bends and the curves we've been through have shown that this bike loves corners. This bike loves the twisties. Thanks in part to, I believe, just how narrow it feels when you're riding it. And you're tall, you're up tall, so you know when you lean it kind of exaggerates that feeling a little bit. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, well, this thing's got some decent balls on it. This is fun. This is fun, because I ride the Multistrada, so I'm making a direct comparison. This is fun. Yeah, I've loved the triple since I rode the FJ-09. I've been in love with the triple, and it's got that same like rush near the top end there. Yeah, it's got the same thing. And brake. Felt the ABS kick in there, especially on my rear brake. It works. Tip-in is fairly neutral. Doesn't feel top or bottom heavy. Well, no, correction, maybe a little bottom heavy. Don't forget the price point, guys. This is a much cheaper bike than the Ducati Multistrada by far. But what you get a lot. You get riding modes, you've got really comfortable riding position, and you get great wind protection, hand guards, and the mirrors are so-so. Baggage, luggage, you can carry a passenger with no problem. Really, the real gem on this bike is that motor. Once again, Yamaha has just got a sweet gem of a motor, this triple. You will never tire of it, you'll never bore of it. It poodles around town, it's not stressful, and then you know you've got some twisties, you got some open road, you maybe take it to the track and then you rev it up, and once the revs go all the way up there, and then it goes what, and then you go holy cow, and then you go I love this bike, and then yeah, I say it's a good value for money. Can you tell I like this bike, guys? Let's see, what if we switch? No, you can't switch modes while the throttle is engaged. You have to roll out the throttle, then switch modes. Not a whole lot of engine braking. Yeah, you feel the high frequency vibrations that come from the motor are being transmitted up into the handlebar. Not so much through the foot peg, but definitely through these handlebars. I feel it. Cruise control on this thing will be just a put cruise control on this thing and I tell you that would be the tipping point for a lot of people who are on the fence about this bike, because then you can load it up for traveling, you can just chew through the miles on it, you can go on. I feel this thing can probably easily do some light gravel road, some light fire trail road with the right tires on, because I believe the suspension can probably handle a little bit of that, and like I said, the seating position with the narrow seat tank area is fantastic for confidence. It looks like we're heading back to the dealership again. Probably got a couple more minutes to talk about this bike. As you can tell, I really love it. I've been in love with the engine since I first tried it out on the FJ09. Yamaha's got a real keeper for a motor here that I hope they will use for a long time. You know, small refinements and everything, but I love the character of this motor, okay? I love the chassis on this bike for its price point. It's a very competent road bike. I am very confident that I can do many long stints on this bike without really feeling tired. Although I do find the seat a little bit hard, okay? Just a little bit hard. But that could probably be easily solved with an aftermarket seat. And we're back at the dealership. Alright, low speed parking lot. Can I back this bike up without getting off it? I can't in the multistrada very easily, but it looks like I can. I can indeed. Yay, score another point for the FJ-09, folks. Alright, we're back. Love this bike. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Long story short, I'm sure you guys are probably gonna wonder, will I go for the Yamaha FJ-09? The answer is, well, of course not. I love my multi. I love this little girl here. And, you know, I intend to keep her for a while. But if I was in the market for a sort of a sport touring bike and I didn't have the type of money to splurge on multistrada, for example, the FJ-09 would definitely be high on my list.